The 1920 Belmont Stakes was less of a race and more of a coronation. By then, Man o' War was already a national sensation. He had won nearly every major race of his era, and fans packed Belmont Park just to watch him run. The problem was that almost nobody wanted to run against him. His dominance was so complete that most owners simply refused to enter. On race day, only one horse, a colt named Donnacona, lined up to face him. From the moment the gates opened, the result was never in doubt. Man o' War charged to the lead, and with every stride he widened the gap. By the time he crossed the finish line, he was 20 lengths in front, stopping the clock in 2 minutes, 14 1/5, a new American record for the mile and a half. The crowd gave him a standing ovation, even though the outcome had been obvious from the start. After the Belmont, he went on to win other major races that year before retiring with 20 wins from 21 starts. His Belmont was not about beating rivals. It was about showing just how far ahead of them he truly was. More than 50 years later, Belmont Park would host the most famous race in history. Secretariat came into the 1973 Belmont, having already shattered records in the Kentucky Derby and Preakness. But the question remained, could he handle the grueling mile and a half? The answer came in spectacular fashion. Secretariat broke sharply and quickly moved to the lead. What followed was less a horse race and more a sporting miracle. He ran each quarter mile faster than the last, an unheard of feat. By the final turn, the field was nowhere in sight. Announcer Sheik Anderson delivered the immortal call, "Secretariat is moving like a tremendous machine." When Secretariat crossed the line, he was 31 lengths ahead, finishing in 2 minutes, 24 seconds flat, a world record for the distance on dirt that still stands today. Fans, old and young, wept, cheered, and hugged strangers in the stands. That moment didn't just win a triple crown, it cemented Secretariat as one of the greatest athletes of all time. The 1959 Belmont Stakes gave fans a finish filled with drama. The field thundered into the stretch with 3 horses locked together, Sword Dancer, Baghdad, and Royal Orbit. The crowd of 65,000 roared as they hit the wire, too close to call. The officials turned to the photo finish camera. For nearly 10 minutes, the result remained uncertain. Finally, the photo revealed Sword Dancer as the winner, by a nose. But the drama wasn't over. Bill Bolin, Baghdad's jockey, filed a foul claim, insisting Sword Dancer had interfered in the final strides. For nearly 20 more minutes, the stewards reviewed the film from every angle. The tension in the grandstand and jockey's room was unbearable. At last, the decision came. The foul was disallowed. Sword Dancer was the winner. The colt went on to be named champion 3-year-old colt and later became a successful sire. But for many fans, his Belmont is forever remembered as the race where victory hung by a thread. In 1982, trainer Woody Stevens showed the racing world that he was willing to gamble big. Just 5 days before the Belmont Stakes, he ran Conquistador Cielo in the Metropolitan Handicap, a tough 1-mile race against older seasoned horses. Conquistador Cielo won easily, but critics said Stevens had ruined his chances by asking too much so close to the Belmont. On Belmont Day, those critics were silenced. With Lafayette Pankey Jr. in the saddle, Conquistador Cielo bided his time early before unleashing a devastating stretch run. He stormed home to win by 14 lengths in 2 minutes 28 1/5, a margin that stunned the crowd. That victory wasn't just about one horse. It marked the beginning of Woody Stevens' unprecedented streak of 5 consecutive Belmont winners, a feat unmatched in American racing. Conquistador Cielo became Horse of the Year, but his Belmont remains the most vivid memory of his career. By the late 1980s, racing had a new rivalry to savor: Easygoer versus Sunday Silence. Sunday Silence had beaten Easygoer in both the Derby and Preakness, but Belmont Park was Easygoer's home track. Fans in New York believed their horse still had something to prove. In the Belmont Stakes, Easygoer delivered the race of his life. Stalking the pace with perfect rhythm, he surged past Sunday Silence in the stretch and powered away. He crossed the line 8 lengths in front in 2 minutes 26 seconds flat, the second fastest Belmont ever, behind only Secretariat. For New York racing fans, it was redemption. For the sport, it was proof that rivalries can bring out the very best in a champion. Easygoer didn't just win, he turned the Belmont into his masterpiece. The 1995 Triple Crown season was filled with twists. Thunder Gulch had stunned bettors by winning the Kentucky Derby, then disappointed with a third-place finish in the Preakness. Most thought his story was finished, but fate intervened. His stablemate Timber Country, the Preakness winner, scratched from the Belmont with a fever that left Gary Stevens back aboard Thunder Gulch, and the pair seized the opportunity. Running with patience and control, Thunder Gulch tracked the leaders before surging past in the stretch. He won the Belmont by 2 lengths and finished the year as Horse of the Year. From overlooked Derby winner to consistent champion, Thunder Gulch proved that in horse racing, redemption can come in the space of a single race. 2 years later, Belmont Park was again the stage for heartbreak. Silver Charm, beloved across America, had already won the Derby and Preakness. He seemed destined to end the long Triple Crown drought. The crowd of 70,000 was buzzing, ready for history. For most of the race, Silver Charm looked unbeatable, gliding along near the lead. But as the field entered the stretch, jockey Chris McCarron guided Touch Gold to the outside and launched a desperate charge. The crowd gasped as Touch Gold closed in, stride by stride. At the wire, Touch Gold was in front by 3/4 of a length. The Belmont had crushed another Triple Crown dream. Silver Charm's loss was heartbreaking, but it added to the Belmont's reputation as the toughest test in American racing. If you want proof that the Belmont can produce miracles, look no further than 2002. War Emblem entered with Derby and Preakness wins and seemed ready to become the next Triple Crown hero. Sarava, meanwhile, was a 70-1 outsider who had never won a stakes race. The race went wrong for War Emblem immediately. He stumbled at the start and never recovered. Medaglia d'Oro took the lead, but Edgar Prado had Sarava perfectly placed. In the stretch, Sarava surged forward, overtaking Medaglia d'Oro to win by half a length. It was the biggest upset in Belmont history. For those who bet on him, the payoff was enormous. For everyone else, it was another lesson that in the Belmont, the underdog always has a chance. In 2008, Big Brown looked like a sure thing. He was undefeated, had crushed the Derby and Preakness, and went off as the 1-4 favorite to finally end the 30-year Triple Crown drought. But Nick Zito's long shot, Da Terra, at 38-1, had other plans. Jockey Alan Garcia sent him straight to the lead, and Da Terra never looked back. Big Brown, meanwhile, faltered badly in the stretch and was eased, finishing last. Da Terra crossed the wire 5 1/4 lengths in front, pulling off one of the most shocking wire-to-wire upsets in the history of the Belmont. The cheers that day weren't just for the winner, but for the reminder that in horse racing, anything can happen. Finally, in 2015, racing fans got the ending they had been waiting for. After 37 years of heartbreak, American Pharoah arrived at Belmont with the chance to make history. Victor Espinoza sent him straight to the front, and the colt never faltered. Around the sweeping turns of Belmont Park, American Pharoah lengthened his stride and kept pulling away. He crossed the finish line 5.5 lengths ahead in 2 minutes 26.65 seconds. The wait was over for fans who remembered Secretariat, and for younger generations seeing it for the first time. American Pharoah's Belmont was a unifying moment, proof that greatness still lives in the sport. If you enjoyed this look at Belmont champions, you'll love my other video. Check it out next for even more incredible racing history.